Kinsey, thank you so much for joining us. I mean, I guess the Buckhouse were always going to put out their jam range, but it does look like a little bit of tit for tat. Is it?
I think from a social media strategy standpoint, you would highlight a recent product that is doing well on your site. I think that that's common practice. We saw Meghan Markle's new entrepreneurial endeavors see success for the royal family a week ago. It was Prince Charles, he was known as Prince Charles at the time, that started selling products from his Duchy of Cornwall estate back in the 90s when Meghan Markle was like, she says she was eating at the $4.99 Sizzler salad bar at the time back in the 90s. But the king, a week ago, it was reported, saw a dramatic spike in jam sales, resulting in some of those products selling out. So yes, social media wise, they are going to start highlighting this product that has seen a spike. I think to immediately assume that it's a swipe that Meghan Markle is giving into Meghan's victimhood narrative. I just think Buckingham Palace's digital team is darn good at their job.
I mean, I have to say, I do like a Royal Palace jam. I've been fortunate enough to go and have a look around some of the palaces, and I like nothing more than, one of the shops that, that you're perhaps paying a little bit of a premium price, but who wouldn't want a nice royal crest on your jam? Having said that, I think the jam I make is marginally better, but this whole lifestyle brand, I'm putting it out there, this whole lifestyle brand thing, though, that Meghan has put out. OK, so the jam, it was a clever strategy, send it to the influencers, we've all talked about it. Do you think, though, that it's going to be sustainable? Because we know that the palace, we know that the king, we know that the heritage brand, if you like, for all of that is longevity. But what on earth experience does Meghan Markle have of making jam or even packaging up and selling it?
Not in a million years did anyone predict that Meghan Markle was going to become a jam connoisseur. We were debating whether or not she was going to be president of the United States for 3 years, and here we are talking about labels peeling off of her DIY jam and how her logo looks suspiciously like a Trump golf course logo. So no, I think that when it comes to longevity, the Sussexes have proven that they are not in anything for the long game. They're given the boot from Spotify. They quit the British royal family. I think that they have an issue working with other people. I think that they aren't focused. They just throw everything at the wall and they try to see what sticks. And I don't think that they really have a clear vision in mind. But I do think that at the end of the day, they just have a hard time dealing with other people and communicating with other people properly, which hinders their growth and hinders opportunities for them.
Now, it's kind of interesting that you mentioned that because they've just hired a new PR guru. And it's kind of interesting that one of the comments that came out that when everybody knows that you've hired a PR guru and that becomes part of the story, then you've probably lost the narrative because everybody knows that you've got something to repair. Do you think, though, that by hiring somebody, it's going to work? Do Harry and Meghan listen to the advice that they're given? Because at the moment, it looks like they've got the scattergun out. They've got no clear narrative or strategy. They haven't been articulating themselves and what they do, and they haven't realised what their selling points are, where the weaknesses lie, and how to get people back on side.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty delusional when it comes to what their weaknesses are, because I think anyone would tell them your weaknesses are you don't listen to the people that you surround yourselves with. They've had very talented. Meghan Markle's original podcast that was canceled had 17 executive producers, some of them coming from the Oprah Winfrey Show that was highly successful. So I think that they completely avoid any sort of criticism whatsoever and take it incredibly personally. I think ultimately, we felt when they sat down with Oprah Winfrey for their interview, they made it sound like they were really limited. Aside from feeling bullied, they were really limited inside of the British royal family, and they had big plans and they wanted to do more than what they were capable of doing. Those stories coming out via Omid Scobie that Meghan wanted to do this, but the palace told her she couldn't because the Princess of Wales had something on the calendar that day. And we've just been patiently waiting to see all of these initiatives and good deeds that these two individuals have just been bursting to execute. And then to have the strategy be, we're going to send a member of the Kardashian family and Chrissy Teigen, America's favorite bully, a jar of jam. It just seems to throw them back. I mean, I look at that and I say, you guys are supposed to be so much better than this.
I just look at them and I think it's sort of so bad that I am almost beginning to feel sorry for Harry and Meghan, that they're the family members who lost their way. They're the family members who didn't realise what amazing opportunities they had. They're the family members who thought they could do it better. And they're the family members who forgot that the only reason that they had the power and position that they had is because they were part of the royal family. They've given that away. They've thrown it away. And that means that they are heading for a life of mediocrity and disappearing from the public's view once we've kind of got fed up and bored of the tawdry lies and nonsense that they come up with. Is that me being a bit harsh?
I mean, I think that you've made several very good points, but they can't afford to disappear. They have a lifestyle that's very expensive. Between their 16 bathrooms and the amount of security that they pay on a regular basis, they're going to have to chase the dollar. I mean, I even felt like that was displayed with Meghan's connecting with Lemonada Media for her next podcast. Lemonada Media is a small independent podcasting network. They did not hand her a huge check. There had to have been some sort of agreement there where she's going to have to hustle for those hits. It's going to be advertising dollars, perhaps, that brings that in money, or she might have to be able to take some sort of ownership in the future. But I think that that's not an option for them to disappear. They are too expensive as a couple, and their expectations are too high.
Well, I think they are. I mean, whoever designed the American Riviera Orchard logo probably needs to leave their position